I've been carrying one firearm or another for over 5 years now, and in that time, I keep finding myself adding more and more stuff to my everyday carry. But is all this stuff really worth it? Well, today I'm going to investigate that question, and together we're going to find out is if carrying all the stuff that I do every day is truly worth it, or if it's just a bunch of YouTube and influencer hype. Out with some things that have changed, but before we do that, let's get out of the way some of the things that haven't changed for me. So I still do carry a CR920. This is from Shadow Systems, and a MR920. This is basically the Glock 43 and then a Glock 19. I still do carry the CR920 in a Warriorland holster. I have been wanting to upgrade this guy, maybe get it Cerakoted, put a weapon light on it, get it optics cut. I am planning on doing that very soon, and when I do, I'll definitely make a video and show you guys, but as of now, this is still my kind of everyday summer carry. So when I'm wearing like some shorts or a t-shirt, something like that, this one is way easier to conceal than the big boy. I still do carry it in a T-Rex arms holster with an extra magazine. And yeah, the thing that has changed about this, that's the biggest upgrade, is I did put a new threaded barrel on this. And then I also put a AT3 Ace on this thing. This is a really quality red dot. I'm not just saying that because I work at AT3. I'm saying that because it actually is a awesome deal for the price. A nice big window. You can get it in either red or green dot. I do have this in the red dot configuration. And yeah, shake awake, battery life, all those types of things. I do really like this red dot a lot. It was a huge upgrade from the Sig Romeo, which is a polymer red dot. It just got dirty all the time. I didn't like it as much at all. For the knives, the most common knives that I do carry are actually this Kershaw knife. And then when I want something a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier, I do carry the Precision Blades. Both of these knives I got for either really cheap or free. I won this one in a contest at work, and I got this one at a gas station somewhere in Utah. So I do prefer not to spend a whole lot of money on knives because they're tools. They're meant to be used and abused. So I don't like spending a whole lot of money on knives because, again, I might lose them or they might get all beat up, scuffed up. So you can spend a lot of money on knives. I choose not to do that. I don't ever try to use knives for scary things. I just try to use them in ways that are practical. So opening boxes or shimmying under something, opening something up, things like that. Maybe even on the field if something's going wrong, if I have to extract a shell casing or something like that from the inside of an AR. These come in handy a lot rather than a big, huge multi-tool. Those are handy as well, and I do have those sometimes, but I just prefer to have a quick knife on me. That seems to be the easiest thing to bring around. The only other things I haven't changed in a while, keys. I have not really changed out my keys a lot. I do still have the Beats Hills right here. So these are really nice because they can just fit in my pocket really easily. I wanted to find something really small. So the Beats are still what I rock. And then I still do rock my knockoff Ridge wallet because I'm too much of a cheapskate to get a real Ridge wallet. The big things that have changed for me though, let's go ahead and start digging into those. I did get a Pixel 9 Pro XL. The big reason I got this was that it's the newest phone that is still at a reasonable price. So like I said in my last EDC video, I don't like to get phones that are brand new. I think they're too expensive now, so I try to get refurbished phones. Kind of like what most people do with cars. Most people don't go and buy brand new cars. They go and buy used cars. So that's what I like to do with phones. I want to have it in a MagSafe case so I can do MagSafe things. Pixels are basically the iPhone of the Android world. Very simple, very minimalist. I'm a huge AI guy, so I use Gemini or Gemini, the correct way to say it, the NASA way. I do use Gemini all the time on this phone, and the camera on it is amazing. It can take some awesome raw photos. Here's some examples of some raw photos that I've taken on this thing and edited them up in Lightroom, and I'm always blown away by the quality that I get out of this phone. It's actually amazing, and it's actually been a fun challenge for me to leave my camera at home. Instead of bringing that with me everywhere, I just try to bring this and take good photos with it and edit them up as fast as possible, and that actually works great. So really do enjoy this phone. If you guys want to see what's on my phone video, kind of like a Marquez Brownlee style thing, go ahead and leave that in the comments. I'd love to make that for you guys. Something that I have been carrying a lot more often that came out of my backpack setup and actually has been coming with me in my pockets has been this light. This is a Nitecore light, and it's the MT2C Pro, and this is a 2000 lumen EDC light. And having a flashlight on me, I've been trying to carry it with me more often, has actually been a really fun challenge, or not really a challenge, but a really fun addition to the EDC, because I've actually used this a lot more often than you think. Maybe you're in a dark parking lot or something like that, and you just want to look around at someone or something that you see. Maybe you're just looking for your keys, you drop them in your garage under your car. Then this works extremely well, and I do enjoy having it. You guys don't have to get a huge chungus one like this. I actually want to try to get one a little bit smaller, maybe a Streamlight one or something like that, maybe a pencil-sized one, because this one is actually quite large, and it's because of that I don't actually carry it with me all the time. The next big addition, guys, is actually something that I've been trying to incorporate into my EDC a lot more regularly, and that is going to be a bag like this. Let's get into why I carry a little man purse like this. It's not a man purse. And I think you guys can actually relate to a lot of the problems that I'm having here, so let's get into them one by one. The biggest problem that I do have a lot of the time is I don't want to change up my outfits or my wardrobe just to be able to carry a gun or carry the amount of gear or kit that I want to. This especially rears its ugly head in the summertime. So maybe I'm wearing some basketball shorts or some gym shorts or whatever it might be. It could even be, like some swimming trunks or something like that going to the pool. How are you supposed to carry something like this? Now, they do have holsters. They do have all kinds of other things. What I find, guys, is it's a lot more practical and a lot easier to carry that stuff in a bag like this. A very normal looking bag. It's just like a one person like sling bag. Has pockets everywhere, zipper compartments. This is actually a bag from Coach. What I normally put in it is actually a med pouch. So I do bring some medical gear with me when I am bringing that larger bag, because then I'm able to carry the amount of stuff that I need to actually have a practical kit. Let's walk through this kit really quickly. And I do think, guys, a kit like this is very unnecessary if you haven't had the proper medical training. So this is all stuff that I know how to use properly, and I do try to stay up to date and train and practice with it as much as possible. On the outside here, I have a tourniquet that's really easy to get out and rip out very quickly in case I need it. I do have a carabiner here, so I can clip this on the outside of my range bag, which is something that I do pretty normally. I do keep a sticker on this, or a patch, a Velcro patch, to indicate that this is medical gear. So if I had to throw it or give it to somebody else to use, or in a situation, then they could probably start opening this up and quickly investigate what's in it. Opening it up now, I do keep some first aid tape. We do have some exam gloves. Whenever I was watching police body cam footage of anything, I did notice that if they were trying to treat a subject, then the first thing they did was usually put on gloves. So I do think that's actually really important to do if you have the time, if it's not like a really hardcore medical situation. I also have some Z-fold, and this is some wound packing. And I think this is actually way more important than a tourniquet, guys. A lot of people just carry a tourniquet with them, and I do think that that is a little bit of a mistake. I think it's way more important to carry wound packing, because the first protocol, if you've been trained, first protocol with a bleeding situation is to pack the wound first and try to slow the bleeding down as much as possible, so that you can then put on a tourniquet and have the bleeding stop. A lot of people skip this part, guys. You should try to pack the wound as fast as possible first to slow the bleeding down to the point where you can put a tourniquet on somebody. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on the comments on that. If you said I could only carry one of these things, I would probably pick the wound packing first and foremost over the tourniquet. But ideally, you have both. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. After that, I do carry a couple of chest seals, and this is pretty much to prevent anybody to have a collapsed lung. So if something is happening, any kind of penetration occurs, then you throw these on a person on their chest, and hopefully that prevents some collapsed lung situation. Again, this is all stuff that I've been formally trained on, but I'm not like an EMT or something like that. I don't have, combat training experience with all of this, but it is something, they are things that I know how to use and things that I feel confident with if the situation arose. A couple of the last things, I do have a space blanket, so this is just to keep people warm. If someone does have a extreme blood loss situation, then they do get very cold. They could borderline on hypothermic, so it's important to have one of those. I also keep a chem stick in here in case things get a little dark and I need to quickly find what's in the bag and I don't have like a flashlight or something like that. I don't have my phone on me. These are really easy just to break open, you know, grab open, break open, and see things, or put them next to a subject, or, you know, something's happened on the side of a road or something like that. I can have one of these. I just like to have these everywhere, in my backpack, in my bag, wherever, so that I can just quickly find stuff. The last few things I have in here, I have an elastic bandage to wrap up and transport anybody that has been seriously injured. Also do have trauma shears in here in case you need to cut things off of people, cut a shirt or something, so that you can apply something like a chest seal. Last thing in here is I do have a booboo kit, you know, in case someone has a cut or something like that, a really, you know, non-serious cut. You can have some of that, so that's nice to have in here, just kind of a normal-ish first aid kit. Then I do also have a Sharpie, which is very important. A lot of people forget the fact that you should be writing the time on your tourniquet, so that when you apply the tourniquet, the doctors who are eventually going to be removing the kit understand how long that has been on there, so that they can apply proper treatment. We're going to talk about if all this stuff is necessary in just 1 second. I did want to talk about why I've thought it's important to bring medical gear with me all the time. I do think it's important to be a well-rounded, prepared citizen. And that, in my mind, includes carrying a firearm, but it also includes having proper medical training and proper medical kit and gear in order to help at least one person out if possible. But let's move on to, is this stuff, all of this stuff, even necessary? I mean, we've talked about guns, we've talked about phones, we got bags all on the table here. This is a table full of stuff, guys, that I carry with me every day. And is this something that you should invest in? Is all this stuff really worth it? Well, I'll tell you right now, no, it's not. But why do I say that? First of all, let me be 100% honest with you guys. Do I carry all this stuff with me every day? The answer to that is also no. At times, it's very impractical to be carrying all this medical gear with me wherever I go. Now, sometimes, yes, in the summertime, if I'm wearing some basketball shorts or something like that, I can throw in a firearm in this bag as well. If I want to go off-body, throw in some medical gear, like in this nice little compact kit, and there you go. I have extra pockets. I can throw in a flashlight. I can throw in a knife. I have my wallet, my keys in my pockets, and there you go. And then there are times, guys, where it's just very impractical. Maybe I just need my wallet, my keys, my handgun to go to the gas station and just pick up a couple of things. Maybe there are times where I'm going on a date with my wife and I don't want to have a whole sling bag with me, and I just want to be able to go bowling, or I just want to be able to go to the park and walk around or something like that. So do I need all of this stuff with me all the time? Here's the thing. A lot of gun people, a lot of influencers will tell you that yes, in order to be the most prepared citizen of all time, in order to be the most dangerous, the most capable person, you need to have all this medical gear with you. You need to have 2 handguns. You need to have phones and baofangs and different ways of communication with the civilization all the time in order to be the guy that can capably protect his family, his friends, everyone that he loves and cares about. But is that really true, guys? I think the things that are way more important to invest in aren't stuff. It's gonna be training your mindset. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is having the training of being capable with your handgun, having the training of being capable of rendering aid to someone if you wanted to. Those are all things that are going to impact your life and other people's lives way more. Let me give you an example. If you carry a handgun with you every day, but you can't hit the broadside of a barn at 50 yards, then that is going to be a problem. That is not going to be any help to you if you're not training with it, if you're not practicing with it, and if you don't have the skills to properly protect yourself and your family. Same thing with medical gear. If you don't have the proper training with medical gear, with how to use tourniquets, wound packing, and chest seals, then all of this stuff is really unnecessary and you don't need to carry it with you all the time. But the influencers will tell you, if you have this stuff, if you have the medical gear, if you have multiple handguns, if you have flashlights, you're going to use it, you're going to have it all the time, and you won't have any trouble trying to use it in a real world situation. But that's just not true, guys. So you need to take into account what is exactly the things that you need, what are exactly the things that you have experience with that you feel confident and capable bringing out with you every day, And that's the stuff that you should bring with you on a normal, regular basis. If I were to really break this down to my everyday carry, guys, I would say my phone, wallet, keys, headphones, and one of my 2 handguns. That's really what I carry with me every day. And then this other stuff is this medical gear, the knives, the flashlights, those types of things. That's really a plus up to my everyday carry. And it's kind of an intermediate in between both my normal everyday carry and then my backpack setup. Speaking of my backpack setup, if you guys do want to see the plus up to this everyday carry video, then you can check out what I carry with me in my backpack almost all the time. Not quite. You can check that video out right over here, guys. I'll see you over there.